Between reflex and reflection, the art of the pause. There's a line that keeps returning to me. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. It's Viktor Frankl. And the older I get, the more I feel how much of life happens inside that single sentence. Because life doesn't arrive gently. It arrives as interruption, a sharp comment, a sudden noise, a memory you didn't invite, an email you weren't ready for. And in those moments, something happens before we even notice it. The body tightens, the mind rushes ahead, words form, actions follow. We call that reaction. But most of the time, it's really reflex. Reflex is fast, automatic, unexamined. It evolved to save us. Pull your hand from the stove, jump back from danger, act now, think later. And when the threat is real, reflex is a gift. But modern life is full of moments that feel like threats without actually being ones. A criticism, a disagreement, a look we interpret as judgment. And reflex doesn't ask whether it's still needed. It just fires. That's when we snap at someone we care about. Withdraw in shame. Buy something we don't need. Defend ourselves before we even know what's being said. Reflex keeps us safe from pain, but it also keeps us trapped inside old patterns. Reflection is different. Reflection asks for a pause. Not a long pause. Sometimes just a breath. It's the moment where you notice the heat in your chest, the tightening in your jaw, the urge to explain, justify, escape, or attack. And instead of acting, you stay. You let the feeling be there, without letting it drive. That's the space Frankl was pointing to. Not a philosophical abstraction, a lived moment. Because in that space, something quietly radical becomes possible. You can choose. You can say, I'm angry, and I don't have to speak yet. I'm afraid, and I can still take one step forward. I want this, and I don't need to decide right now. This is responsibility. The ability to respond rather than react. And it changes the texture of a life. Without the pause, we live on autopilot, replaying scripts written long ago. With it, we begin to author our behavior in real time. The pause matters because it interrupts momentum. It loosens the grip of habit. It reminds us that we are not identical to our first impulse. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote that if something distresses us, the pain isn't caused by the thing itself, but by our judgment of it. And that judgment, he said, can be revoked. At any moment. That's not denial. It's power. The power to say, this feeling is real. And it doesn't get the final word. Learning to pause is a practice. It grows slowly. Through noticing the breath. Through asking better questions when we're triggered. Through remembering what actually matters when emotions are loud. And over time, that space widens. Not into perfection, but into freedom. Because between reflex and reflection lies a choice. And in that choice, a different life becomes possible. That's the art of the pause.